just want to kind of get things going. In order to put this party together, I had to twist Charlie's arm a little bit. And seriously, I really did. I really didn't want it. I wanted it first. And then I said, well, a lot of people want to have a party for you. He says, who? And I mentioned the guys in Indiana. He says, okay. That was quick. But he says, I'm not going to get up and say anything. I said, that's all right. We're just going to talk about you. So if he wants to get up and talk, that's up to him. If not, we're still going to talk about it.
Reese said it's great that I wasn't going to say anything.
He's already said something. I knew he'd say something. I knew he couldn't resist. He doesn't even need a mic. Do that. But we're not losing anybody because he's going to stick around. He's already called me more times since he's retired than he ever did before. I hear from him more now than I ever did before. Of course, basically puts him on the phone just to get so she gets rid of him. But we're just going to have a little impromptu meeting here tonight, a prayer meeting, I guess we might call it. Anybody wants to say anything? I know Charlie wants to hear it. We're just not going to let him have the mic, though. That's
Great. You should give a lot of money in your collection.
I am going to give him something here tonight. Before you all leave, I want you to take a look at it, just to show you it is a family affair. This goes back about to 1958 in Nashville, Tennessee. We have somebody here by the name of, just says Charles E. Plant Jr. in the back row. And in the front row, it's got Mrs. Macy. That's it, Plant. So that shows you it is a family affair. So before you leave here tonight, I do want you to take a look at this.
Oh, is that ours?
It's for you.
Oh, great.
Well, thank you. Well, that sounds good.
You were young, but Charlie.
I won't say he was handsome then, because he wasn't.
I can't stand it.
But she's as good looking as she ever was.
I think so.
Thank you.
Be as cute as he ever was.
Right. Charlie, you mean?
Right.
Yeah. That's one way to put it.
Did he get you?
All right.
So I'm just going to turn it over to Bill Reese. I think he's got about 2 hours of agenda here.
I've roomed with this guy for 23 years.
Yeah.
I do meetings.
And he won't say a word. Ken said he'd like to do more of a roast than anything else. And if you'd been a straight man like I have for 25 years for this territory, you got your one final chance. And he says a roast. I said, you got to be kidding. This is my final chance. But if you know Charlie, he likes to go to auctions. And the one thing they know about him there is that they get rid of everything, and at the end they always have a box of stuff they got to send to somebody. And finally, when nobody's left there, but Charlie said, "Big Red, we'll buy this for 50 cents." And he always does buy it. Now, you always wonder what's in that box that he buys for 50 cents. I've seen some of those boxes. You wouldn't believe the junk. Here is one. Well, you got stuff like this. It's an alarm clock, but you don't need it. Beautiful milk bottle. You doesn't work anymore.
Just to look at it.
And Charlie says tonight he's going to go down south. So when he gets down south and he goes to the auctions there, they're not going to know him. So we talked to the auctioneers here. We figured out a way to take care of that. He'll stand at the back of the group and they will know him when they see the head. We go back a long, long time, and a lot of strange, funny things happen. And some of the things, if I told you, you wouldn't believe. But I'm going to try to keep them to the things that are least believable. When we opened in Canada, we had a manager's meeting there. And Charlie and Fulmer and I and all those people went there, set the company back 12 years before they ever got back here in Toronto. And this is an exact copy of a towel from that hotel. This towel, Charlie wore, and somehow got locked out of his room.
That sounds familiar.
Put it on, Charlie.
And the wonderful thing about Charlie is he's able to think quickly. And out in the hallway, the elevator door opened, and Mrs. Crawford stepped out, and Charlie says, "Where's the luau?" This is kind of an in-house thing. Maybe a lot of you won't understand it. But this is a professional waffle.
True, you did that.
Did Charlie want to comment on this?
No. Let's pass on
I'm,
this.
okay. Anyway, I want to read a card that came with this mail. You do want me to read it? Dear Charlie, best of luck. You had a great time when you were in Canada. The gang at the Thunderbird Nursing Home. You had
Use that to play waffle.
So the other thing I thought we should do is to tell some of the newer people maybe how Charlie was so successful in his marketing efforts. And really, I made maybe 86,000 calls, 40 of them in the same company trying to get a few claims. But he was talking about some of those calls that we made and what happened. And just as examples, here's a old Sears catalog. Had trouble getting this. This is a 1968 model, and I haven't been calling with him very often, and we got into the situation where people would complain about our bills. I know most of you wouldn't have heard that before. Some people think that our bills are not that low. So if you look, he always says, now you just take a look here, boy, in the Sears catalog. See down here where it says good, better, and best? We're the best. And that's what he did. He couldn't believe it, and he believed it. And actually, getting on a serious note, he believed it, and he also carried that out. We were the best. And we knew it, and it was easy to sell in those circumstances. But you can add this to your antique catalog. The other thing that he said finally was, when it was absolutely complete chance of getting no cases, we would get a little remorseful before we left the office, and the guy would ask me, "What's the matter?" The guy's crying a little bit. He said, and he says, he seems to be saying something. What's he saying? And, you know, maybe you've known him a long time, but Charlie does talk funny. And these are all Yankees. And I said, I'll talk to him, see what it says. It says, his kids are eating the putty around the window. And if he just had 3 cases, he'd probably be fine. And usually when we got back to the office, he called me, laughing. He says, "I got 8 cases from that guy. How many did you get?" I said, "I didn't get any." But anyway, the Midwest managers wanted you to have this box of putty. Marcy, you can have any putty in any of your windows. He told anywhere near the truth.
Oh, shit.
One other trip we made to a manager's meeting in Atlanta. We were at the Omni Hotel and decided to go downstairs for a very fancy French dinner. And Charlie was commenting on this tonight. He remembered some of what happened. But it was an extremely fancy restaurant. Most of us hadn't been in a place like that before, and one of us had never been there ever in his life. But he did refer to the head French waiter as, "Hey, boy." Here's a copy of that menu. And I'll never forget his words. They brought the sorbet, and he looked down and he said, "Oh my God, I done missed my main course." But, yeah, he's giving a nice drink right in the middle of his dinner. Ken asked me if I would do the job of getting something for Charlie, and that was a few weeks ago, and he sent a letter out to everybody, and there was a tremendous response. I got telephone calls from every manager in the Midwest. Most had to do with some financial report we were supposed to turn in. I can't remember what it was. Some of it had to do with Charlie, and they were very all concerned, very interested. They wanted to be here tonight, each and every one of them. I can assure you, Charlie, the stories you wouldn't believe that they told them. But they all sent something in to contribute to your gift. Dick Fulmer, though, and this is the honest truth, he said, well, Bill, how do I send this in? I mean, who do I make this payable? I said, make it payable to me. It was all quiet in the ambulance. And Dick said, well, I think you'll get something. Anyway, I talked to Johnny and I said, we're getting a lot of money in here. What do you think about Cadillac, something like that? So he and I added the money together, and we thought that some kind of a transportation would at least be good for the two of you, in case your old one broke down. So Johnny, would you make a presentation at this point of the vehicle?
Charlie and Bill have been around, as you've already heard, a long time, and Bill apparently never had a company car. And Charlie has had company cars for one reason or another, and not any of the rest of us could understood for them. And finally, they came up with team concepts, and some of us got to get company cars, and Bill still got left out on the company car end of it. So, and getting down to Charlie and knowing that he had to give up his company car, and Macy took the Cadillac, we had to get some form of transportation so that Charlie can get around. And I have a hobby, and I love to do it, and we have made a vehicle that Charlie can now get around to the auctions and also use this to get out of Macy's way whenever there is a need to. It is equipped with all the conveniences of home, and all of those who are probably unable to get around as fast as you need to. So Charlie, we'd like you to take this as a gift of real love as your next mode of transportation. Come up and check it out, please.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. You never know what you're going to get from these places, I'll tell you what.
Did get it open?
No, I didn't.
Is that the right box?
This is what we commonly call a senility scheme.
Is this thing calibrated to jump those cotton rows down and up? Thank you very much, guys.
We do have one other presentation to make if the attendants will kindly leave the room. Hurry.
That's another retiree.
Yeah.
Watch those guys. I've been knowing him for 25 years.
But seriously, as I told you, the Midwest managers really went all out. I was really impressed, as I always have been. All of them called me and asked about what they should do and what kind of a thing we should get. And presentation. Go on.
Come on, brother. Oh, my gosh. Man, I need that.
That's mine.
Isn't that nice? Not only am I retired, I'm disabled, so I can't do dishes or...
Well, that brings to mind Macy, you know, and certainly she's contributed as much as Crawford and Company as Charlie has. Matter of fact, she contributed Charlie. So Macy, so that you'll have a place to sit along with Charlie in your retirement days, the guys are bringing in another chair.
Great, I like that.
Sit down.
Oh,
I can tell you what to do now.
time to do my time.
I can do it.
We can rock together.
And we just bought one. Can anybody?
You know that those are...
Those bolts in one car. You know what's inside my car? Marilyn had to sit on the top.
No wonder Marilyn's out of sort tonight. She hasn't got out of the car.
Well, I can tell you though, all the hitting we've done, we said we would be, you know, not serious about this, but it's difficult for me not to. He's been a friend a long, long time. As far as Crawford and Company goes, he's the type of person that built this company. All of you that work with this company know this company. It's developed because of people like him. A very unusual person, all of you know. Absolutely dedicated to the company, but to his people too. I've heard him talk about his people, his family, and I don't mean to get mushy, and I promise I wouldn't, but... and you'll hate me for this. I wonder if you wouldn't stand up and just give him one statement. Clap, bye, thanks.
We don't really mean to end it, because there's a lot of people out there that work for Charlie, and I'm sure there's a lot of stories out there, so don't be bashful. I'd like to hear from you. We'd like to hear from any of you. Anything you want to say. I can tell a few stories on Charlie. If you people wonder about Crawford and Company and their success, you know, we are successful, and it's people like him that make us successful. And Charlie relates his story that to show you how smart Crawford and Company was. They took a boy out of Alabama, told him to open an office in Springfield, Illinois, the land of Lincoln. It worked. It's still going pretty strong, and he's got one of his trainees over there running the office right now. So it does take perseverance, and Charlie's proved it from that standpoint.
They never did know if we had claims of selling brooms.
Or garage doors, right, Charlie?
So get the hell out of here.
But I met Charlie when I was in Lima, Ohio, and Charlie came over here to replace Oodles Crumley in Fort Wayne. And that's a long time ago, Charlie, when we got acquainted.
23 years.
And there, I stayed around a year. I said, God, I gotta get out of Ohio. Charlie's over at Fort Wayne. I said, I gotta go somewhere else. But no, all kidding aside, I'm sure some of you guys got some stories out there, so don't be bashful. Charlie, I'd love to. Maybe you wouldn't want to hear them again. I'll leave that up to you.
Well, remember Macy's here. I mean,
I'm sure there's nothing could shock her at this point. All these years with you. Dick, you got something on your mind over there.
oh, yeah. Don't believe a word of it.
Folks, this guy there's a lot of history about him you don't know. Not only is he a waffle champion, he's also a war hero. I didn't know this for years, but I found out that he defended the mill pond in Tallahassee, Alabama from the Luftwaffe. I'm really very confused because You know, I lived in the Atlanta area now, and I've been in contact with Human Resources. And they sent me up here to find a guy by the name of Sport. Seems that they've got an immediate transfer with a 75% contract in Montgomery, Alabama for Sport. But I haven't been able to find him. Do you know anything about a guy named Sport?
I'm in the computer wrong now.
That's sort of an inside joke, but Charlie, for years and years, didn't really know how he was in the computer until Jack Stevenson called him and told him that his name was not in the home office computer, but there was a guy named Sport. Fort Wayne. I've been with Charlie a long, long time. He's true blue. He's one of the greatest guys I've ever known. He's my best friend in Crawford & Company. And it's all been great. Thanks a lot for meeting there, Charlie.
This is impromptu. I just picked up a business card, Charlie. This is Quality Claims Incorporated. You going out? No.
Yeah. There you go.
By the way, that's Randy Peters' outfit. That's Randy Peters' outfit.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is true. His name is on there. You started that, Jim. That's an inside joke, too. From that standpoint. Anybody else? Come on, Pete.
Uh-oh. This guy used to work for me. He knows too much.
You got a book, Charlie.
Well, after I came to Fort Wayne, Charlie slowed down a little bit. I only heard some of the stories. And I kind of half expected Stark and Sedgwick to be here.
That's an inside joke, too.
Kind of glad they have, talk about future growth potential on the day card. Of course, then there was Al and Jimmy Walker, our friendly Reverend and body shop manager that they got along so well with. And I think Charlie got his company car shortly after he wrecked Kim's motor scooter. He forgot that the road ended and that you had to stop with a brake before you dumped it. I started in Muncie and Marion, and Stu, you can get out of Marion if you wait long enough. But I remember a very distinct conversation I had with Owen when I was in Muncie. I said, I've got 2.5 years experience here. Are you sure it'd be wise for me to work for Charlie? I said, he's kind of crazy,
How'd you know that?
And Owen said, yeah, well, he is. Of course, he didn't tell me what all you guys have done in Atlanta when you've been here. Oh, I've never come if you did. But he promised me that my career would prosper, so I ended up in Springfield, where he started. And I'm still cleaning up his messes. They remember him.
1965.
Yeah. And I was going through some files last few weeks, and I remembered a letter that you had sent to Carl Burns, July 16th, 1965. We opened the office 2 weeks ago, and I've already got 9 cases from Hawkeye and Illinois National. He said, put the plug in for me when you can. It'll be nice to get to know you and meet you. And of course, Carl and Charlie had gone back a long ways. One of the prerequisites I had when I came to Fort Wayne was to go to the auctions with Charlie. And like I said, he was a big rate machine. And we would go to happy hour on Friday. And Charlie would say, about 3 o'clock, you getting thirsty? I said, well, let me finish this up. I go. So we left about 3:30, 4 o'clock usually on Friday. And Macy always watched her favorite program on Friday nights called Snow. Because she would be waiting up for Charlie to fall asleep in the chair waiting for us to get home and ended up watching the snow. So I knew that on Sunday I had to go to the auctions. And we'd go down to Ohio and Charlie would get the 50-cent box. He says, "Hey, that looks nice. Buy it." And I'd buy the $5 boxes. And that white china that I bought about 10 years ago, we just got rid of last year. It was that good of a deal. But it always struck me that Charlie had $20 in his pocket and filled up his pickup truck. So we stopped and get a few beers, drink on the way home, pull up late in the afternoon.
Something. She said, "Huh?" So I got her to do my shirt for me, and I told Bill his service is no longer needed. So I'm sure that Maryland's not going to like this, but without me, they don't need him anymore. I don't know. But there's been some great times. I've had the support of Macy and my kids, Kim and Scott, who are here tonight. Hope you met them. Had great people to work with. I don't believe that I just hate to think that I came this way without being a part of Crawford Company and knowing all you wonderful people. That's about all I have to say. I could say a lot of things, but the wives are here, so we better just use it right here. Thanks a lot. Thanks for being my friend. Thanks for coming.
I see a few other, something under the podium here that I didn't bring anyway. I think somebody from the Fort Wayne office, is there any representatives here?
Just have a few small tokens of our appreciation for you, Charlie. We got a couple gift certificates, and I believe we've got a money clip in here for you. Sorry, Charlie. It's nice. It was. It was. It's even engraved. Not sure how this works. I've never had a money clip of my own. You're gonna have to tell me how to do it.
You don't expect him to put that.
This guy's always picking on me because I'm crippled, you know?
Speaking on behalf of Charlie's employees the past few years, I'd truly like to say thank you, Charlie. Charlie hired me, as he did most of us in the office, trained us, took us under his wing, and just like to say best of wishes. And what you taught us, taught me, and the past and the future is all our successes. Credit you, Charlie.
Thank you. We got around to meeting each other, introducing themselves. And would it be in order if I asked people just to stand up and introduce themselves and their spouses or their guests, and just tell where you're from so we get some idea? Well, we're starting very